Welcome back to the online sessions on DCCN. Now, in the today's session, we'll try to deal with the OSI model, Open System Interconnection Model. It is basically a computer to computer communication system involving with many other complexities is what called OSI model. So OSI model is a reference model. We have two types of network models for data communications. One is going to be OSI model. Another one is going to be a TCP/IP model. So TCP/IP model is a very popular model for internet-based applications, whereas OSI model is known as a reference model. So it is nothing but a reference communication model for a systems to communicate. So whereas the systems are going to be of different natures, that means different types of systems can be made to interconnect with each other using this particular OSI model. So that is what this model is, and this is not a protocol. OSI model is not a protocol. It is nothing but just a model which gives about the number of layers, the number of network layers responsible for communicating the information between two systems is what called a model. So one thing is important, that this OSI is nothing but a model. It is not a protocol, and each and every layer which is been identified or which is been signified in this model are normally going to get implemented with the appropriate protocols. That means every layer inside this OSI model, you're going to have 7 layers. Every layer is normally implemented with certain protocols. So therefore, the layer is different, protocol is different. So layer is going to have certain functionalities to perform. To perform that functionalities, every layer is going to support certain protocols. So protocols are nothing but set of rules that governs the communication between two computers or two systems in a data communication model. Okay, so now let us look into this now. So therefore, OSI is nothing but a model, and it normally going to provide functions of the various layers. Now, what are the various layers this OSI is normally going to support? That is the point of discussion now. So OSI is a 7 layer model. So remember that there are 7 hills and 7 layers. So it is going to be just only 7 layers always. It is not going to be 5. It is not going to be 8. It is not going to be something else. Only 7 layers. So you have to mug up these 7 layers compulsorily. If at all any question is asked on the reference model, then you should compulsorily explain all these 7 layers. So first layer is going to be the application layer, then presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. So usually this particular OSI model is normally implemented based on the bottom-up approach. There are two types of computer software computing methods. One is going to be top-down approach, another one is going to be bottom-up approach. OOPS concepts are normally designed using the bottom-up approach. Okay, so that means here this network layer, this data communication model is also implemented based on the bottom-up approach. Therefore, the numbering has been given from the bottom layer towards the top layer. So but however it is, you can just remember top to bottom or bottom to top, it doesn't matter. But this particular network layered architecture is normally going to support a bottom up approach while it is being designed. Okay, so anyway, but I just remember based on the application layer. So application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and a physical layer, right? These are the 7 layers which are responsible for data communication between two computers. And this OSI model has been proposed by the ISO standards in ISO standards. So International Standard Organization is not actually meant for the communicating between two devices. Is called OSI. Is called ISO organization. So this OSI model is normally a standard based on the ISO, right? And OSI model has been proposed in 1983, and ISO standard has been formed in 1947. Well, so whatever it is, this is what the OSI model is basically. OSI model is meant to have a communication, or meant to provide communication between two or many devices in the network. In the network of different types, in the network of different types of systems, in the network of different types of computer architectures, whatever may be, even though there are complexities, even though there are differences in type of one computer and the computer, even though there are differences in the types of technologies involved, that means irrespective of technologies, irrespective of the type of the systems, irrespective of the type of the network organizations, whatever it is, irrespective of the complexities, this model is normally going to provide communication between two or many systems or computers in the network. Therefore, OSI model is known as a reference model for us. It is not mandated to include all these models compulsorily. It is based on the application. We can add models, we can remove the models. That's why it is called as a layered network architecture model. So that means what is the advantage of layer network architecture? It supports the plug and play operations. What is plug and play? So for example, in your model that you're going to design, it may not require session for us. Then we can simply remove the session layer from this particular OSI model, and we design for only rest of the layers. For some applications, we don't require the presentation layer. Then we remove the presentation layer from this model, and we design this particular communication model excluding the presentation layer. So like this, it is based on the application. We're normally going to have a plug and play kind of an operations, right? And it should support different types of applications. Therefore, this network architecture is normally going to provide layers for independent functionalities. As functionalities are going to be independent, it becomes plug and play operations. Due to this, it supports many types of the complexities. Irrespective of technologies, these particular layers are going to support the communication between two ends. So therefore, this is a very popular layer for the data communication model. So first of all, how do we remember this model? I remember any model with respect to its application. Say, for example, you want to transmit a Microsoft Word file or say a Microsoft presentation to another computer. Now, how this particular Microsoft Word file has to be transmitted to another computer? Now, imagine that computer is of different type. Say, for example, your computer is using the MS Office. Your computer is using DOS operating system, and other computer may be using some other operating system. It may be Apple Macintosh operating system. It may be OpenVMS operating system. It may be a Sun Solaris operating system. It may be a you know any such BIOS operating systems. Okay, so it may be a Unix operating system, it may be a Linux operating system, whatever may be the operating system it is. Now you are simply, that means different systems are operating under different operating systems, different systems are running under different operating systems. Now in that kind of a situation, I want to transmit my MS Word file. That means here, what is my application actually? My application is going to be MS Word application. Now this application is being developed on the, say for example, MS DOS application or Microsoft Windows application. I have developed the Microsoft Word file on the MS Windows application software. Okay, then this particular file has to be transmitted to some other computer which is running with a Linux operating system, say for example. Now the presentation of this data for MS Windows is different. The presentation of same data for the Linux is different. Now whatever data that is there, which is there in the source, it is normally going to get presented based on the application suitable for the Microsoft Windows application. Then next, if at all your communication requires a session to be followed. So the best example I can think about a session is going to be called as a banking application. So whenever you normally deal with any banking application, until the session gets closed, A communication has to be compulsorily established between two parties without any breakage in between. If something goes wrong in between, then the entire process really goes into halt, and so much other operations need to be performed if the operation really fails. So compulsorily a reliable session has to be maintained between the server and the user of the banking applications. So that is an example, best example for session layer. So in case you wanted to maintain session for the entire communication, then we normally use a session layer. Then we are going to have a transport layer. Whatever data that we have to transmit, that has to be transported. That has to be transported onto the by using a transport layer. Now this transport layer is basically, as the name indicates, transport layer. This transport layer is nothing but something like a bus, or it is like an aeroplane, or it is like any automobile, is called a transport layer. Now here, as we can say that a letter can be posted by different means. Now I just quoted in the very beginning class that this particular 7 layers can be simply approximated to the postal service system. The data communication system is almost all same, as the basis for data communications is postal communication system. So in the postal communication system, what happens? Once a letter has come with some information, that letter has to be presented in a particular format. So if both parties understands the same format, fantastic, no problem. Both of them, say, imagine, understands English or Telugu or Urdu, whatever language. Now, whatever letter you write with the language, if a destination understands the same language, then okay, no problem, that can be really posted into it. If that is not the case, source understands Telugu language, the destination computer understands English language. That means all this Telugu language has to be converted into English, and after conversion, that has to be given to the destination computer. That is what complexity is involved in the data communications in general. So if you compare with postal system, first of all, a letter will come, that is your application, and presentation means what? The data resided in that means what? The code or the language that has been used in representing the data is a presentation. And session is anyway not used in the postal department. So therefore, session layer is excluded. Then next is transport layer. So now, based on the address provided on the network, address provided on the postcard, your letter has to be go from one place to another place by using the appropriate vehicle. So the vehicle is going to be done by the transport layer. So transport layer is responsible for source to destination delivery of the data. Destination delivery of the post letter is what called a transport layer. So this transport layer, as it is meant for actually computer to computer communication, whenever we are whenever we intend to transmit data from one computer to another computer, what are the other aspects that comes into picture? Flow control methods, data control methods. So that means here at what speed the data is simply has to move from one computer to another computer. That is what flow control method. And what mode it has to get transmitted? Simplex, half duplex, full duplex. So what kind of communication? How much is the delay between the two computers is normally allowed? That is what flow control method. And next one is data control methods. That means data has to be transmitted. So at what level it has to be transmitted? That means here all it is related to the vehicle only. Say for example, I want to travel to America. Now I want to take a cycle to go to America. How much time it will take? If I take aeroplane, how much time it will take? That means what? It all depends on there's something like called as a flow control method. And next one is data control method. If data got lost in between, how to rectify the data? That really going to suggest us, those problems are going to get suggested to us by the data control methods. So by using all these various methods, we normally going to transport data from source to the destination. So transport layer is responsible for establishing the connection, making the transaction, and releasing the connection. This is what the primary task, and it involves two important methods called flow control method and data control methods. The next one is network layer. Now a postcard has to be transmitted via which network? It has to be transmitted through road, it has to be transmitted through railway track lines, it has to be transmitted by bullock cart, it has to be transmitted by water, on water, that means on ships or boats. How it has to be transmitted, that later that postcard has to go, that is suggested by the network layer. So network layer is normally going to involve two important functionalities. It employs switching and routing. So it suggests about it what route has to be taken for a data to get transmitted. So here letter is simply replaced with a packet or a frame for us, right? So that is how, that means the network layer is normally going to decide about which route has to be taken for a postcard to go, based on the source and the destination address. So, and it supports switching and routing algorithms. The next one is going to be the data link layer. Data link layer means what? Here, the your postcard has to be transmitted after converting all these postcards. That means what here? These postcards, whatever postcards you have, say for example, a postman has got around 1,000 postcards. Among these 1,000 postcards, 100 postcards should go to a particular place, and 100 postcards should go to some other particular place in some other country. So like that, he's going to segregate all of them into individual baskets. That segregation is done by the data link layer. So then finally it's going to be the physical layer. Then the actual letter with the appropriate packing, we has to move, take a move in the physical path. Okay, that means channel that will be travel through a particular channel. This is what various layers we have in the OSI model. Now the same letter here we have to replace with the data. So replace letter with the data here. That's it. Once you replace your postal letter with the data, then it simply becomes into a communication system for us, data communication system for us. But what are all the drawbacks that are there in postal communication system? All of them are normally going to get overcome in the data communication systems. In data communication systems, as we are experiencing daily, that the distance is not a matter to transmit our information. So to transmit a letter, distance really matters. And the technology involved is also does not matter in transmitting a signal. Whatever may be the type of computer, the destination doesn't matter. I transmit data, that whatever I have into the into the system. And whatever may be the language that the destination computer understands, that also really don't bother in the case of the data communication systems. So there are all these advantages, and the communication is cheaper. When you compare the communication of postal card communication with the data communication is very, very cheaper. Because of these reasons only, nowadays making a call to a country like USA is very cheaper. I can just have a WhatsApp call, I can just make a connection to the people or friends of us at foreign countries. We can easily talk to them with a cheaper cost. That means why it is so happening right now? It is just because of the data communications which is involved in the communication process. So definitely there are so many advantages of data communications over the postal communication system. Now in order to have all those advantages, we are simply moving ourselves to the data communications to transmit our information from one end to another end. Okay, all these points we discussed earlier. Let us look into now the important things which we are going to have now. So application layer, what the things application layer in data communication is going to involve? Application layer is normally going to provide an interface to the end user to communicate a signal from one end to another end. What is an interface? Just now I spoke about Microsoft Word is an interface that the user interacts with the computer or with the application. So somebody want to send a mail, how will interact, how will he send information? By using the application known as email server. By using email server application, he is going to send a information to his friend. He want to send a file to his friend, he's going to use a file transfer He's going to transfer his file. So he's going to use a file transfer protocols. So he won't interact with the database applications. So based on the this application layer is going to support various applications that the user interacts. User means client interacts with the system. That is what called application layer. So application layer is normally provides the interfaces to the user to give his data, to give his information to the computer. Next one is presentation layer. This presentation layer, what is presentation layer is basically meant for? It is meant for representing the data in a particular format. Say for example, you have a Microsoft Word application is going to have one format of data. If you got PowerPoint presentation, another format of data. If you got a video file, another format of data. Audio file, some other format of data. You've got a PDF file, some other format of data. So that means something like audio file is there, MP3 format. Video file is there, MP4 format. So the format, that means presentation of data, simply going to vary based on the type of the data that you want to transmit. So all of them can be done at the presentation layer. That means the presentation layer is responsible for syntax or semantics of the data to be represented. Data to be represented. It is what called a presentation layer. So session layer is normally going to provide end-to-end connection. End-to-end connection whenever we need a uninterrupted service between two people, okay, continuously for data, for transfer of data, for delivery of data, we use a session layer. The next one is going to be transport layer. Transport layer is normally meant for providing source to destination delivery of a packet by implementing or by using flow control and error control methods. So this transport layer is responsible for connection to the end user and making the data transfer and releasing the connection. So it is going to involve in virtual connections and dedicated connections as well. The next one is network layer, responsible for providing the routing to the packets, data packets that are there. The next one is data link layer. Data link layer is responsible for converting the raw data into bit streams called as frames. And these frames will be simply transmitted onto the physical layer. So physical layer is normally responsible for providing the physical media connection so that the data can be transmitted from the source computer onto the network. So it releases this packet onto the network from the source computer. So that means up to data link layer, all these layers will be implemented in the computer, source computer only. At physical layer, what happens? After physical layer, the data will be simply transmitted onto the channel. The channel may be a physical channel, it may be a non-physical channel. Therefore, you're going to have two types of communications, wired communication and a wireless communication. So either one of these two communication networks are used to transmit the data. So based on the type of the communication involved, accordingly, the physical layer is going to convert the bit frames into the appropriate data. So for example, we want to transmit data on a twisted pair. So whenever I want to communicate to a twisted pair, then twisted pair is going to transmit the data in terms of electrical symbols. So to convert them into electrical symbols. Say for example, I want to transmit data using RF media, radio frequency media, wireless media. Then you have to convert this data into EM waves, electromagnetic waves. Accordingly, physical layer is normally going to convert them into the electromagnetic waves by using a transmitting antenna. Okay, so like this, we're going to have various layers, right? So these are the various layers called as OSI layers, which are popularly used for communicating the information from one computer to another computer. So let us move on to the next slide. So this slide is going to speak about some other information about the data communications. Now let us imagine there are two devices, device A and device B, connected in a data communication network. Now the application, whatever application that it has have, that means whatever data that he has, he's going to send the data using an application. Say a simple example is Microsoft Word. So in Microsoft Word, he's going to type his letter and that word he says send. So once he says send, what happens now? This application layer is simply data is taken out, and simply converts this application data into a data format with various data header, payload, starting bits, ending information, trailing bits, synchronizing bits. All those things are simply going to get added here, and that will be given to the presentation layer. This presentation layer speaks about various details regarding the data which is there here. It says that the data has been uh, generated on the Microsoft Office, and these data bit frames are going to be generated on a 64-bit processor, so on and so forth. All that presentation data information is given on the presentation layer. Then the presentation layer is given it to the session layer given it to the transport layer. Transport layer speaks about the flow control, data control methods for the data which is coming from the top layer, so that it can be really transmitted. That means it speaks about the path of communication, in which path it's sorry, not path, it speaks about the end-to-end communication with flow control and error control. So flow control normally speaks about the speed of communication. Error control normally speaks about the correctness of communication. So these two are involved. By involving these two, this transport layer is going to establish the connection between the two ends, that is device A and device B. The next layer is network layer, data link layer, and a physical layer. So these three layers are normally going to get modified by the intermediate layers, because as this data is getting transmitted from one node to another node in the computer network, what happens is one node network architecture may be different with the other node network architecture, and accordingly so many changes has to be taken place while the data is simply getting transmitted from one end to another end. So this is what the changes we're going to have. That means the data packet that is coming out of the physical layer is going to have a changes in between these two. Say simple thing is human voice. Say you are talking to your friend who is there in USA. Then how your voice has to be transmitted? For some moment your voice will be transmitted through wires, for some other distance it transmits through the wireless media, for some other distance it transmits through the optical fiber cables, so on and so forth. That means your data is getting transmitted through different types of networks by keep on converting from one type of network to another type of network, by changing the data formats, by changing the routes, by changing the type of the networks, by constructing into different types of frames of data. So all these are normally going to get changed by the intermediate nodes. Then it is the data is simply getting transmitted to the destination, and exactly reverse process is going to take place at the destination computer. So it receives the packet at the presentation layer. From presentation layer, it converts the data suitable for the next layer, which is going to be data link layer. In between these two, this blue strip line is going to be known as the interfaces. They are known as interfaces between the various layers. These interfaces are going to convert one type of data into another type of data, something like a mediators. It is something like when when the chief ministers of two different countries are talking to each other, when they don't know the other language, the other minister's language, then what happens? We normally going to keep intermediary. There is some intermediate person who is going to convert either of the two messages and is going to communicate with them, and these two chief ministers are going to communicate with each other. So similar to that, you're going to have a mechanism here. So every layer is normally going to get connected to other layer with the appropriate interfacing devices. So whoever is going to design this particular communication model for their communication, they have to program for these interfaces, and they have to program for the protocols. They have to program the protocols at each and every layer for their applications. So layer is different, protocol is different. Layer is going to give a external functionalities. So protocols means what? They are nothing but the set of rules made to perform the specified communication. To perform the specified communication, a set of rules has to be made. That is what called a protocol's job. Okay. Now this is how the communication is exactly happening. So whatever information coming from the source computer is known as a data for us. Now this data is given to the presentation layer, and presentation layer takes only data. So once the presentation layer takes the data, pure data means what? The zeros and ones form kind of a data, pure data. Your descriptive, that is word data, is simply converted into the computer understandable data, and it is going to add header information regarding its conversions. That means what kind of, this is a raw data, zeros and ones. This zeros and ones resembles what? Is it a text data? Is it a voice data? Is it a video data? Is it a multimedia data? What it is exactly? So that is understood by this particular header information. So it takes the pure data and adds the header information to the data. That means this header information is added at the presentation layer. Presentation layer adds the header information. Now this entire chunk is simply transmitted to the next below layer. That is known as a session layer. Now session layer is normally going to add its own data for the session to be incorporated. If at all session is there, it fills the appropriate flag registers. If session is not there, it fills all the flag registers with 000, and it understood that session is not there for this particular type of a packet. Then this entire chunk of data is given to the next layer known as a transport layer, and transport layer adds so much of information regarding the flow control, data control, connection establishment, connection releasing. All the information is normally going to add based on the source and destination addresses. Then after this is given to the transport layer. So after transport layer, it is given to the network layer. Now network layer adds data regarding the route to be taken, which route the packet has to take so that it can be transmitted very effectively. And it speaks about what are the various switches and routers that are going to exist in the route that has to be pre-calculated by the source network layer. Based on the type of a network it has got, it has to really pre-program all those things. So all that information, that means what is the next what is the next router or a next place where the data has to be transmitted, based on the network layer is going to add so much of information regarding how the packet has to be transmitted from the source computer into the network. Then after this network layer, it is given to the data link layer. Data link layer is normally going to convert this data into frames. Data into frames. So these frames are, once again, it's going to add its own data. Okay, its own data known as header information with respect to the data. So therefore, this is given. After this particular raw data is transmitted via the transmission medium. Okay, it is based on the medium we transmit the data. Now exactly reverse is going to happen at various layers of the destination computer. Now all these layers are present in each and every computer. Whenever you install any operating system, this operating system is normally going to provide all these OSI layers in us. Okay, so therefore it is the task of the application software that is running at the background. We need not bother about all these issues, but at the background so much of things are happening. What so much is happening? All these things are happening, whatever we are discussing just now. So a destination computer is going to receive the data via the physical media, zeros and ones, and the data, the entire chunk of data is given to the data link layer. This data link layer is going to strip off the data for it, and it is given it to the network layer. The network layer, from the network layer, what happens? Network layer is going to the extra information is stripped off. The information is stripped off in the network layer, and it takes its own information. Say for example, this packet is for this particular computer only. Say the device B only. This is destined device B. When the address of this is going to match with this, Now this data is going to get stripped off by the network layer, and this entire chunk is given to the upper layer called transport layer. So on transport layer, understand that it is the mode of communication that this computer can understand based on the mode of communication, based on type of communication, based on the flow control, data control methods. Okay, so this is normally understands that. If it understands that, it is going to strip off its data, is going to strip off its own information for transport layer, extra chunk, header file, and that the entire chunk is given to the its upper layer called session layer. Same thing is for the presentation layer, then is for the application layer. So using application layer is given to the appropriate application. So if the destination computer is also having the MS Word, now this file can be opened on the MS Word file. Okay, so that is how the things which we are going to have. That means here what is happening exactly, that is most important. Whenever we want to transmit a data in a data communication network, the header information is simply going to get added by each and every sub layers, and this data is once again going to get stripped off by the destination computers continuously. This is what which is going to have in the data communication systems. So data coming from the communication, the data link layer will be given to the physical layer. Physical layer simply converts this data into the data transmittable form, and that is simply transmitted. So this is further explained with the data link layer, relation between data link layer and the network layer. Now the data which is coming from network layer, L3 data is network layer, layer 3 data. When it comes to data link layer, what happens? So extra information is added to the data which is coming from this. Okay, and that data, the total data with extra information is being transmitted to the physical layer. At the destination, what is happening? The destination computer is going to take this entire physical data, and network layer is going to strip off T2 and H2, and it takes its own data. Similarly, this is simply going to get followed for the other computers to reach to the final destination. Say for example, how the communication is happening, that has been explained over here just now. See this now. Say computer 10, the computer with the token number 10 want to transmit to a computer with token number say 87. What happens here now? This is the data that it has to transmit. Say this data packet has to be transmitted. T2 is a trailer bits. 10 is the source address, 87 is the destination address. This data is transmitted. Now what happens here by this particular thing now? This T2 and this T2 is simply stripped off by this to take this particular data. So like this data is simply transmitted from one to the another type of the layers. Similarly, from transport layer to the network layer. So layer 4 is the transport layer, and from bottom, as per bottom up approach, this is the transport layer, and this data is, when it is given to the network layer, it is going to add its own packet. Then at the receiving destination computer, what happens? Destination computer is going to, at network layer, is going to strip off the packet for its network, and it is going to take the data, process data, and give it to the transport layer. Like this, the data will be added at the source, the data will be stripped off at the destination after it simply collects its own data at the destination. So like this, we normally going to perform the data communications. Thank you very much for the today's session.